It's mouth-watering, it's essential, it's Instagrammable. But will there be enough food to go around in the future? Rising temperatures and urban growth are making it harder and harder to feed the world's most populous city.
We don't know what's going to happen in Jakarta.
How can the next generation in Jakarta survive? Time for the final touches. A pinch of spices, crisp vegetables, green herbs. Fresh ingredients being prepared for another night of hungry guests at Chef Hans Christian's restaurant. Here in South Jakarta, he serves contemporary cuisine with Indonesian flavors. 75% of what is served up is sourced locally from all parts of the country.
I work with a lot of good fishermen from Lombok, Sumbawa and Bali, but the fish can be very seasonal. So like for example, they're gonna send us the type of fish day before the delivery, and maybe they only have 5 kilogram, they have 10 kilogram. Usually I put that into the seasonal menu, but when I put it in the fixed menu, I would require a constant supply of a certain amount, and that's where usually the imported fish comes in.
Predictability to cater for the modern and hip crowd that dines here, and quality. Hans Christian prefers beef sourced from Australia. It meets his expectations. What if it doesn't arrive at the August restaurant?
We changed the menu.
Any product that comes from outside Indonesia has to get through customs.
Mostly all the products already has like a permit or certification. Sometimes the regulation can change and we experience like a red flag on a certain product that can the supply can be like stopped from overseas. Like recently we experienced that with lamb.
So no lamb today. August Restaurant is one of Jakarta's fine dining stars, fitting for a city that's become a global food hotspot. But behind the buzzing kitchens lies a hidden truth. Jakarta depends heavily on imported food. At Kramat Jati Central Market, where the city's biggest volumes of produce are moved each day, food businesses stock up.
Jakarta can only meet about 1 to 2% of its food needs from local production. This means that approximately 98% of its food supply must be sourced from outside the city.
Even something basic like garlic, which comes from China, where it's cheaper. Hazudungan Sidabaluk is the head of the Jakarta Department for Food Security, overseeing the stability of food supplies to the city. It's a tough job. Reliance on imports means unpredictable prices, and both quality and quantity often hinge on factors far beyond his control.
Climate change also plays a significant role in food production challenges. The first impact is the shift in planting seasons. When planting schedules shift, harvest times shift as well. If a supplying region experiences flooding, the food volume distributed to Jakarta will automatically decrease, directly affecting food availability in the city. These disruptions affect food prices and influence overall production volumes.
And for a megacity of more than 42 million people in its metropolitan area, even minor disruptions can have major consequences. Jakarta's food supply chain is fragile. A delay in transportation can ripple through markets. During the pandemic, this became very evident. The entire country saw a spike in prices. By mid-2020, 37.7% of Indonesian households reported eating less because they couldn't afford enough food. Food prices surged by almost 6% in Indonesia and across other countries in Asia. In Indonesia, the government expanded distribution routes and improved transportation networks to reduce vulnerabilities. And the megacity has its own supply backup.
Dan kita sudah menyiapkan hal tersebut.
Jakarta has prepared 1,141 tonnes of rice as an emergency reserve. This reserve will be used in situations such as food shortages, crop failures, or other emergencies.
It's a buffer that could last several months. To meet demand, rice is also imported from other countries, such as India, Thailand, and Vietnam. Indonesia has long relied on rice imports, and in 2024 that dependence hit a staggering 4.5 million tons, roughly 15% of what Indonesians consume in a year. But the country wants to shift away from such outside support. It wants to be able to rely on its own domestic production. Yet the massive expansion of rice paddy fields across the country comes at a cost. There are vast monocultures which reduce biodiversity and strain ecosystems. And there is more.
Rice is one of the cereal crops that is highly vulnerable to climate change. Each rise in temperature can lead to a significant decline in rice production. The key point is that, amid the current climate crisis, if we rely on only one or two food commodities, especially those that are vulnerable to climate change, we face very high risks.
Ahmad Arif is on a mission to bring Indonesia's forgotten foods back into the spotlight. He has written several books about them. Together with students, he explores the country's rich variety of local crops at workshops in Jakarta. They include old-school food gems like sago, a starch similar to tapioca, nutrient-rich for meals like porridge. Or breadfruit, often featured on his Instagram account.
Many studies indicate that breadfruit has a high level of resilience to climate change. Even as temperatures rise, breadfruit is able to survive and grow with high productivity across various land types. Its carbohydrate content is comparable to rice, with additional nutritional benefits.
Indonesia's neglected traditional foods could strengthen food security and climate resilience. But they struggle to compete in a nation deeply connected to rice. And wheat, because the country is also the world's top wheat importer, another mainstream staple which has seen growing demand. Alternatives barely make it onto plates, although they can have an impact on a very local level. Amidst the hustle and bustle of this street in East Jakarta, young children are finding out about more diverse types of food. Once a waste disposal site, Hayati has planted an urban garden in a narrow alleyway. In a city like Jakarta, constantly expanding and densifying, such pockets of greenery are hard to come by. Space is scarce, and gardens are precious. On special days, children learn about seeds here and how to grow food.
The point is, let's plant together, so we don't worry if food shortages occur. This is what I always worry about. If we don't educate children early, and they grow up only with modern, instant things and online activities, without knowing nature, it will be a great loss.
What grows here feeds the wider community. Malakasari Edu Farm harvests pak choy, types of spinach and other vegetables for around 500 people each month. They cater lunches for a government ministry and provide independence and steady work for 23 local women. Hayati created the farm after being left with 3 children to bring up. Once a lifeline, it's now a hub of food and opportunity. A remarkable achievement.
I never thought my partner would leave me this way when he passed away. But it happened, and it became my motivation to set an example for other women.
The government supports urban gardening, but this grassroots movement cannot guarantee Jakarta's food security. And it's far from being the only big city to rely on long supply chains. Think New York, Singapore, London. They all rely on imports from other regions or abroad. So full supermarket shelves, not guaranteed. One big disruption and things get shaky fast. And this is why Hayati is doing what she's doing.
As a result of unavoidable disasters, I started expanding these activities outside the region early this year. I began cultivation and livestock activities in Sragen and taught the same to families there. Because we don't know what will happen in Jakarta. At least we will have something to rely on if something occurs.
Not everyone has these opportunities. Only a fraction of Jakartans is this prepared. Still, more urban gardens are emerging. Several hundred now exist, boosting community ties and local food resilience. And smart technologies have potential to help too.
Jakarta must increase its local food production. This can be achieved by accelerating the adoption of urban farming technologies. For example, implementing Internet of Things systems in agriculture and constructing smart greenhouses across the city.
Feeding Jakarta is a massive behind-the-scenes operation that needs structure, foresight and small ideas with the power to grow, to meet the challenges of our times. So the city's 42 million residents can keep enjoying their mouth-watering food day and night.